Hello Hofstra fans and welcome inside the WB Mason Coaches Report right here on GoHofstra.com. I'm Tiffany Vellis, joined now by the Hofstra Volleyball Head Coach, Emily Mansur. Coach, thanks for your time.
Thank you, Tiffany.
So Coach, we have to get into the tough weekend that you're coming off, an 0-2 start to conference play that was against the College of Charleston and UNC Wilmington. So just talk a little bit about that experience for your team.
It's definitely very hard. It's the first time that we have been in this situation since we've been the Hofstra volleyball team and the staff here, but I think just as anything, a bump on the road is going to happen. It's really unfortunate. Do I like it? Not at all, but I think as a team we have to learn from it. We have to move on. We really cannot be just thinking about what happened. We have to learn from our errors and become a better team. And we just had a lot of up and downs when we went there, and it's two great teams which we have to be consistent in order to get the win, and that did not happen. But it is what it is. It's really unfortunate. We understand the responsibility that we have going forward, but I really hope as a team we learn and we grow from that.
Now you've been without Leticia Valente, obviously with injury. Do you think that the team was still becoming a little bit more acclimated to the absence of her in the starting lineup?
It's definitely a change. She's someone that usually scores 19 to 20 points for us, 15 to 20 points for us every match, so that is a huge thing. But that is not an excuse that we can really use because we won the previous two matches without her. I do think it takes us some time to just get used to different people to have more responsibilities because we have to find a way to score those 20 points that she used to score. But we are getting better with her. We are getting used to be a team without her being here right now. And I think we have to grow from it and not let ourselves use the excuse that Leticia is not here. That's why this is happening.
So it seemed like there was a lot of inconsistencies, mostly at the net, to the point where some sets were in negative hitting percentages. Can you talk a little bit about where those inconsistencies were coming from?
I think, again, it's just their responsibility. Each player knew that they needed to get 3 extra kills to 4 extra kills in order for us to be the team that we have been. So I think some players some student athletes just took that very heavy on themselves, which didn't let them play the game that they usually know how to play, and they just forced a lot of shots which created much more errors than what we usually have. Against the College of Charleston we had 35 hitting errors. That's a set and a half. The College of Charleston, being a great team that they are, didn't have to do anything. So I think it's just, again, our hitters being confident that they know how to do the job and that they can pick up 2 or 3 extra kills that we are missing from the absence of one of our players.
Well, one hitter who seems very, very confident in herself right now is the freshman Laura Mashula. Talk about the progress you've seen her make heading into CAA play.
Oh, it's great. I'm so happy. We have had a hard hitting outside like her since 2 years when Kelsey Wills left, and in a way I'm saying she is the next Kelsey Wills, but it's nice to see someone that can come in and just dominate and someone that wants every ball. If she could, she would have every ball. Doesn't mean that she's gonna get every kill, but she doesn't mind having the responsibility, so it's good to see, especially because she's so young. However, I do not want her to become it's a Laura-based offense. This is not how we're gonna be successful, and that's where it comes the playing of all the other players that are here with us.
Well, of course, your hitters wouldn't be so strong without their setters, obviously. So this season, you have 2 setters, Johanna Clem, obviously, and then Louisa Sidley, another freshman. Talk about the dynamic of those 2 players because both of them did see some playing time this weekend.
They're very similar. They are from the same country, the same club, the same background, the same personality, which is great. It makes it easier to do the change between Hannah and Louisa. And I think they're both very good, consistent setters. However, Hannah has been here with us longer, understand our system better, but it's really nice to have the ability to change and give Hannah a break if she needs to, or give Louise a break if she needs to. But I think both of them run a very good game. And that's why, as a coaching staff, it's frustrating coming back with a 0-2, which we have a better ability to score this year than we had last year.
Well, obviously, 2 tough matches this past weekend, and before we get into the coming weekend against James Madison and William & Mary, of course, talk a little bit about how tough this conference is as a whole. And it just seems that the last couple of years, there's no definitive 1 or 2. It's really 1, 2, 3, all the way down to maybe 6.
Oh, absolutely. I really think this year maybe every team on the conference has the ability to win. And I think that's amazing. But it's going to take a lot of maturity of each team to be able to play very good volleyball every match. Otherwise, it's going to happen what happened to us this past weekend. coming home with a 0-2. I really like how aggressive and how good every team is. I think this only has to show how the CAA is growing, and this is something that's very positive for every school on the CAA. And I think that's just a very positive thing, and we have to grow with that. And this year, we say that there is no easy match. There is really 0 easy match to be played, and every match is a championship match.
Well, with that being said, you move forward, and now you have to face off at home at least against James Madison and William and Mary. First JMU, who's kind of top tier in the conference, and then William and Mary, who's at the bottom. So talk a little bit about the mental aspect of getting your team prepared for 2 very different teams.
And yes, 2 very different teams, but right now we are right there with William and Mary. So every team is a great team right now. It really is the reality. JMU, we are really looking forward to play. We have played them tough the past year, and they have been a little bit more favorable than we were, so I'm excited to play them. They have a lot of the star players returning, so I think it's going to be a good match, and I think we need that coming from the weekend that we just played. And then we look into William Mary, who has a new coach, who has a fresh breath, who is really working hard because of the change of staff. A lot of times they just give a boost to a team. They played JMU very hard this past weekend. They lost in 4, but they played hard. So we know it's going to be 2 very good matches to be played.
So physically, finally, Coach, James Madison, offensively, a ton of threats at the net. How do you stop big players such as Janie Goodman, such as the sophomore now, Bryn Recker, who is the offensive player of the week this week?
We have to serve tough. This is something that we missed. If we can serve tough and take them out of system, it becomes a much simpler and easier game to be played. So this is a focus that we have, is taking them out of system in order to be able to control our side a little bit better.
Again, this has been the W. Mason Coaches Report right here on GoHofstra.com.